Hey everybody, welcome to another Goody Reader comparison video. My name is Michael.
This is Peter.
Today we're going to check out the Samsung Galaxy S4 against the Blackberry Z10. Both of these phones obviously reflect the latest offerings that these two companies have managed to do in 2013. Blackberry Z10 runs the Blackberry 10 operating system, whereas the Samsung Galaxy S4 runs the current version of Android 4.2.2. What are the big differences? Well, the S4 has a quad-core 1.6 gigahertz processor, 2 gigs of RAM, 16, 32, or 64 gig models, and you can expand the memory up to 64 gigs via the micro SD card. It has a rear-facing 13 megapixel camera and a front-facing 2 megapixel camera. It's 5 inches and the resolution is 1920 by 1080. The Z10 has a dual-core 1.5 gigahertz processor. It also has 2 gigs of RAM. It has a 16 gig storage capacity, and of course you can expand that via the SD card up to 64 gigs. The rear-facing camera, 8 gigs. Front-facing camera, 2 megapixels, and it has 1280 by 768 for the resolution. And of course, I did not mean gigs, I meant megapixels. So let's take a look at what makes these phones very unique.
Right, now the Samsung Galaxy S4, nothing really special on the outside. Same with the Blackberry Z10. Doesn't look too amazingly different and special. What makes the Samsung Galaxy S4 really stand out is the addition of the sensor at the front that detects motion. Now, most particularly the air gesture. Now, we're not going to show you all of these. I'll just show you one real quick here. So this really demonstrates what you can do with moving your hand over the screen. There you go. To change photos and to scan on web pages. So little things like that. It also has ones where you can answer your call, move pages up and down, wake the phone up, and so forth. So that thing, the little sensor at the front that tracks all your movement, is a really good addition, along with the little eyeball you see there, which is impossible to show you on camera because you have to actually hold it about 4 inches away from your face for it to work with your eyes wide open. They both have the core functions of making calls and all that, of course. So, you know, you can make calls and you can text people. We'll go into messaging here. So we'll take a look at the keyboards. So you can see there that the Samsung, having a much bigger screen, has a dedicated row for numbers, whereas the Z10 has to go into its separate menu to do so. So we're not going to show you too much on this because, well, texting and calling is pretty much phone 101.
So obviously the Samsung has a bigger screen, 5 inches versus 4.2 inches. And of course, we'd like to thank our friends at Wireless Wave, West 4th Avenue, Kitsilano, Vancouver, for giving us these two models. Now, what I'd like to point out is really the core differences. It's Android against Blackberry 10. Blackberry 10, very immature, does not really have a lot of apps, roughly just over about 100,000, but it's missing critical apps like Instagram and things like that, and most of the Google apps. So you won't find Gmail, a lot of apps like that, but you can sideload in apps, and it's a very involved process, but you can check out our YouTube channel at youtube.com/goodyreader for a lot of tutorials. But you could also get a lot of side-loaded apps as well as a lot of tutorials at apps.goodyreader.com. Any app that you see here actually is available on our app store, including Netflix, Instagram, and apps like that. So many of the top apps that we have, actually Blackberry does not have. So that's the Goody Reader advantage. So when it comes down to it, I mean, it's the app ecosystem, and unfortunately Android blows Blackberry away, and I do not see Blackberry ever catching up to Android. In the end, I probably see Blackberry licensing out BBM to other, Android and iOS like they publicly stated that they would. when it comes to like what these phones can do, they basically do the same thing. I mean, this is a little bit faster, a little bit bigger, this is a little bit slower, and a little bit smaller. But when it comes down to it, you're getting this for the email experience. For instance, when we were at New York for IDPF and Book Expo America, I got about 1,300 emails, racked up about an $800 cell phone bill because of all my data, and I was able to delete everything by clicking on a top here. And deleting all prior. With Android, almost every single app that you'll get, you'll have to delete everything one by one. And if you have to do that with 1,000 emails, oh my god, that has taken me like 30 minutes to an hour to do. And to do that every 3 or 4 days, forget about it. So it comes down to, what do you want to do with your phone? If you want like an Android experience, go with this. If you want more of like an email-centric text and BBM messaging experience, I'd probably recommend to go with the Blackberry Z10. You can't really go wrong with either of these devices, but I lean more towards Blackberry for like a productivity type standpoint. Not really too enamored maybe with a lot of games, but you know, with Kindle, Marvel, and everything else, Press Reader, you can actually get via side loading. It's a little bit more of a complicated procedure, so this is ideal for advanced users. This is designed for new users, really, with all the gimmicks that it brings to the table. Finally, to wrap it up, what we're going to do is we're going to check out the sound and video experience, putting these side by side, playing the same video to wrap it up. But Pete, before we do into that, final thoughts.
Well, for me, I mean, I'm an Android lover, but that's not to say I don't like BlackBerry at all. I used a Bold back in the day. I would say the Z10 is just, it like you said, it lacks all the Google, you know, anything that needs authentication through Google, it just doesn't have. Even if you sideload it, it probably won't work. The screen is 4.2. It's incredibly overpriced for what you get, I would say. It's, I think, still $599 as of spring 2013. It's great for email, it's great for businesses because it's just straight to the point. You know, it has all your necessary apps. Email synchronization is quick. You can delete all your emails at once, whereas Android is more multimedia, video, music, games. How fast can the processor go? How much storage can we put on it? And so forth. I would say overall, from my taste, I would probably go for anything Android over BlackBerry. That's just at least me, though.
Doesn't even matter that we're with the phone. Yeah, for me, I would probably, I stay loyal to the Z10. I think it's a quality phone, but it's for advanced users. If you don't want to learn how to sideload and to use Chrome plugins, or to learn how to use DDPB, I would probably say the ease of use is the Android approach. But for me, I'm a more business-minded user. Email, text messages, and everything like that is more important to me. So I'd probably go with the Z10 purely for the email support. If I wasn't too crazy into email, I'd probably go with Android, but because I am, I would probably choose the Z10. So we're going to play a video here and wrap it up.